Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. P, Zoe's dad. It's the 6th of January. We just got back off Christmas break. I'm in my classroom. Kids don't get here until tomorrow, so I'm free to just chill and work in my classroom. So I'm super excited to be back, super excited to see their smiling faces tomorrow. And I'm super excited to start this channel where I can maybe benefit one or two young people who are trying to navigate this crazy life. So I want to do this first video on broad categories. And what I mean by broad categories is when we group people into broad categories and then judge them based on the category that we've put them in. I think this is unwise. I think it's unreasonable. I think it's foolish. I think it's illogical. I think it's irrational. So there's no doubt about how I feel about that. So let me tell you what I mean about broad categories and how we do this. When we say things like, you know how women are like this. And you know they be doing this, this, and this. You know how men are like this. That's why they do this, this, and this, because they're like this. You know how white people are. White people like this, and white people think this, and white people do this, and white people are like this. What? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You know how Republicans are. You know how Democrats are. You know how gay people are. What? That's just unreasonable because you don't know all of the people in that category. So how can you make a judgment about all people in that category? I can't say all women are gold diggers and all women try to emasculate men. How do I know that? I may have dealt with let's just take a huge number. It's probably less than this, but let's just say the average guy the average 26-year-old has dealt with 20 women. The average 26-year-old man has maybe had 20 women that he's dealt with on any serious level. And maybe they all turned out to be gold diggers and maybe, okay, let's say they all turned out to be gold diggers. He can't say all women are gold diggers. These girls out here are gold diggers. Women nowadays are gold diggers. There are literally hundreds of thousands of women in your city alone. How can you judge hundreds of thousands of women based on 20 women that you've dealt with? And you're going to judge hundreds of thousands of women? That's unreasonable. It doesn't make sense. It's illogical. That's what I mean by broad categories, judging women or judging any group in broad categories. Let's just say you're a woman and you're doing the same thing with men. Oh, men ain't blank. Black men ain't blank. Men nowadays ain't blank, because of the 20 guys you've been with. They're literally 300 million, guys in the country, or however many there are, and you're going to judge all men. I'm a man, and you're saying all men ain't blank, all black men ain't blank. I'm a black man. You don't even know me. How you going to judge me based on the 20, 25 dudes you dealt with? No, you should say the dudes I have dealt with or the women I have dealt with haven't been about blank, or I haven't, or have been this way or that way. It's just irrational to judge people based on these broad categories that you have. You know how white people are. I don't trust white people because da-da-da. So anyway, that's what I mean. All right. So now I want to talk to you about 3 things that this does. Then I'll be done. All right. So 3 things, they're all negative. They're written on this piece of paper I have here. So the number one thing that this does, and this is in no particular order, but these are the 3 negative things that come from grouping people and dealing with people in these broad categories. Number one, it hinders potential relationships. So let's say I'm a guy. I've tried to be serious with about 20 women. It's never worked out. and they've always mistreated me. And so now I'm at work. I meet a nice girl. She has none of those bad intentions. She really likes me. She's really pretty. She's a perfect match for me. But I have all these negative feelings. So I'm looking at her with the side eye, and I don't even know I am. I have all this negative energy towards her because I'm suspicious of her intentions, and I'm apprehensive about getting to know her and what kind of person she is, because I'm already thinking that she's probably like the other girls that I've been with. And so I don't even know that I'm putting out this negative energy. I'm not doing it on purpose, but our emotions and what we think and what we feel deeply inside always manifests itself outside. Whether we're trying to do that or not, it's going to. So these negative emotions are manifesting itself. That negative energy is being she can feel it. And the relationship goes nowhere. Could have been great, but because of my negative energy, I ruined that potential relationship. Now, let's say you go into an interview. The person you're interviewing with is white. You already have these preconceived notions about white people, and you think that they're all racist, right? And the person that's interviewing you isn't racist. But because you have these negative emotions and these preconceived notions, and what we feel and think inside manifests itself on the outside, whether we want it to or not. The person who's interviewing you feels this negative energy, feels some kind of way about how you're responding, and you don't even know that you're coming off like this, and it hinders your ability to get that job. Okay, so the first thing it does is grouping people in categories, broad categories, and then judging people and dealing with people based on the category that you have put them in: woman, male, black, white, trans, whatever group you put them in, hinders potential relationships. Number two, it causes unnecessary conflicts. I'll give you two examples. I'll give you two examples. So one time I was in a store with a friend of mine. We were looking at suits and ties. We're going to get G'd up. This was years ago when people said G'd up. So we're in the store. I'm black, he's black. White lady comes over. She says, can I help you guys? Can I help you with anything? And we're like, nah, we just looking around. She said, okay, let me know if I can help you. My name's Jenny, or whatever she said. She walks away. My dude says, hey, man, you know what that was, right? I said, huh? He said, you know what that was? What was? That lady coming over here. You know what that was? I was like, no, man, what you talking about? She was trying to let us know that she was watching us. She was trying to let us niggas know. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. She was trying to let us know that she watching us. So we don't steal nothing. And I was like, okay. I didn't notice that. I thought she was just asking if she could help. But my dude thought she was racist. Now, how could this cause potential conflict? Because if she come back, and she didn't come back, but let's say she came back and she says, y'all doing all right? It's possible that he would have said, why don't you quit stalking us? Why don't you quit watching us? What's your problem? He's already determined that she's a racist because she's white, and all white people are racist. He has put her in the category of racist, and he has put her in the category of racist because she's white. And so that could cause a potential conflict that doesn't even need to be a conflict. Another example, I'm gonna have to make this one up because I don't have a real world example. Okay, let's say you're a woman, and let's say you get a job. It's a good job. You go to work, and most of the people there, it's more men than women, and on your floor that you work, right? And you already have in your mind that men are like this. They're predatory, right? And not only are they predatory, but they don't respect women generally, right? And so you go to work and you're new, and a guy comes up and he's older than you. You know, you're in your 20s. Let's say he's in his 50s. And he goes up, you're both in the copy room, and he says, "Good morning, young lady." And you cop an attitude. What does he mean, young lady? Well, he didn't really mean anything. He was just saying hello. But because you already have in your mind that this dude doesn't respect women and that he's predatory, you're thinking "good morning, young lady" means something that it didn't mean. Just like my dude in the last story thought "may I help you with" means "I'm watching you." Sometimes we have in our mind, we cause conflict because of what's in our mind, and we see things that are not there. We see this dude, or this dude might go, I don't know, "I like your hair," or whatever. And you're going, "Oh, what does that mean? Oh, he's trying to get at me. He's trying to make an event." No, he just likes your hair. So he said, "I like your hair." But we make it something negative and cause conflict because we already have grouped these people in these categories, and we're dealing with them based on how we have grouped them in these categories. All right. One more example. I'm almost out of here. I was watching a story about, and this lady, she's a flight attendant. And she was saying that this lady on the plane, or this man on the plane, shooed her away. She said, "Can I help you? You know, you want some peanuts or whatever?" And he was listening to his headphones, and he did like that. And she said it was because he didn't want a black person, offering him peanuts or whatever. And I said to my son, I think she misinterpreted that. I think the dude was just being rude, right? And not because you were black, just because he's a butthole. Sometimes people are just rude, right? So I think, so I won't belabor that point, but A, it hinders potential relationships. It causes potential unnecessary conflicts. And then lastly, it makes you less happy. If you're walking around with all these negative emotions, every time you see a woman, you're thinking negative things, every time you see a man, you're thinking negative things. It brings up negative emotions. Every time you see a white person, it's bringing up negative emotions. Every time you see a gay person or a trans person, is bringing up negative emotions, hatred and bitterness and whatever. Every time you see a Donald Trump sign or something Republican, you just get all this negative emotion inside of you. Or every time you see a Democrat sign or something that represents the Democratic Party, it brings up all these negative emotions, and it makes you less happy. It just steals from your happiness. You can't be happy. You can't be as happy as you could be if you are walking around with a bunch of negative emotions. And if every time you see someone or something that represents a particular category, represents men or represents women, represents Democrat, Republican, gay, straight, whatever categories you have, and you get mad and you have these negative emotions, you're going to be less happy. So here's the remedy, and I'm done. The remedy is deal with every person as an individual. When you meet a woman, you deal with her as an individual. All right? Her name is Connie. When you meet Connie, don't put her in the woman category and say, "Oh, women are like this." No, Connie is not in that women are like this kind of category. Connie is Connie. And if Connie turns out to be a particular way that's negative, then you can say, "This is how Connie is." And she may not turn out to be that way. She may turn out to be a perfectly pleasant individual because you gave her a chance. If you meet a guy, don't put him in the guy category. If you meet a white person, don't put him in the white person category. If you meet a gay person, don't put him in the gay category. Because you rob yourself of potentially beneficial, helpful, joyful, wonderful relationships, and you make yourself less happy. All right, so I'm not going to belabor that point or make this video any longer than it has to be. Really happy to get the channel started. Hope that some of this was beneficial to you. Oh, one last thing. YouTube is a very negative place to be. Look at the videos. It's women bashing, it's man bashing, it's gay bashing, it's Muslim bashing, it's Christian bashing, it's everything is bashing. So when you watch that, don't let it affect your attitude towards people. All right, I love you guys. I'm out. I'll see you on the next video.